Hello, and welcome to Intentionally Waiting, Series 1, Episode 5. So, what am I going to be talking about today? First of all, deep breaths. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One more time, in, out. That's a new technique that I learned this week to quiet myself down. So if you are ever in a situation where you are frustrated, you've kind of like feel a little bit overwhelmed and you don't know what to do next, just take a deep breath in, hold it, and then take a deep breath out. Do that a couple of times and I'm sure you're going to start feeling better. I have got some tools. Oh my gosh. And I want to share with you. I think last week, I was a little bit more somber. You could probably tell it in my voice that there was a dip. I wasn't my best self. And I'm not saying I'm my best self now, but I am a better self of me now than I was last week. And that's all because I've taken some time out to work on me. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story because, in March, I was in a 2-year relationship which broke up in March. And at the time when it broke up, I realised that not only were there some things in the relationship that weren't right, but there were things within me that wasn't right. And I embarked on this guy called Matthew Hussey. So some of you may know him already and some of you may not. If you don't know him, go Google him because he is just so good. And I signed up at that point to one of his virtual retreats because I felt he was talking about core confidence and how you can get your core confidence back. And I really felt like my confidence had dipped at that point and I needed it. And I needed to boost it. So I signed up for this particular course. And now I signed up for it in March. Yep. And actually, the course has just happened. There's the seminar, the 3-day seminar has just happened. Now, yes, it was awesome. I'm going to share you a little bit about what the session has meant for me, what the experience has meant for me. But the thing is that I didn't know when I signed up then that I was going to be doing this now. I didn't know when I signed up then that there were going to be certain things in my life that I was going to have to be concentrating on. I just knew at that point that I needed help. And I thought I needed the help at that point there. And as the months went by, I felt a little bit better with myself and I was doing things and I was getting out and I was my life was moving forward. I was committing to things. I was, solidifying my relationships with my girlfriends and things like that. And I was doing all of that. And I was like, yeah, I'm good to go. So by the time we actually got to the seminar, I was asking myself, 2 weeks beforehand, do I really need this? Do I really need to go on this thing? I think I've got myself together. And then last week happened. And in last week, you remember I was talking about, being impatient and I needed to be a bit more patient. I needed to enjoy the journey and I just didn't know how to do all of that. And I was like, I'm going to take a break from dating, at least online dating, so that I could focus on me. Now, that was last week and I've just been on this seminar this week, and I tell you, it has answered so many questions for me, so many questions. It's put me in a totally different state. And I feel like it's almost like, sometimes things line up and they're just there waiting and you don't know why you're doing something at some particular time. You don't know why something is prodding you to do something. And, and sometimes we miss those opportunities and we just don't do it because we're thinking, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why I need this in my life. But sometimes if we would just lean forward and just take that jump and just do it, because it might not necessarily be that it's for that moment, but mark my words, it's going to be for a moment. It's going to be for something. And then you're going to look backwards and you're going to go, actually, you know what? When I was doing this, I didn't know why I was doing it. I thought I was doing it because of A. I thought I was doing it because my relationship broke. But actually, I'm doing it for something else. And I'm saying this because, as you can already tell, you can see in my spirit, like, hey, things are moving and I'm actually physically changing. And it's not just like an external vision that you're seeing. It's something internal, like something internally has just switched. The whole seminar has switched a light bulb in me that was already in there. And if you don't know anything about this guy, Matthew Hussey, that's what he says. He says, I'm not about, just like doing something motivational so that, you can feel happy for one day. He's like, I'm about transforming you. And it's not just about transforming you, but it's about switching on that bulb that is already in you. So it's not by giving you something externally and implanting it in you. It's about bringing that thing that's already in you and bringing it alive. And that's exactly what happened to me. So I can be, a testimony to say that whatever he says, he does. That's what it is. That's his mantras, and he's doing it. So, and this is what's helping me now on my journey. So like, the thing that I want to share today is that when I was talking about impatience last week, I thought that I just needed to be patient. I just needed to get my act together and just say, Clara, sit back and be a little bit patient. These things take time. But what I've realized is that, sometimes the opposite of one thing is not what you expect. Because you may think that the opposite of impatience is patience. Actually, no. Like, how can you get patient? Like, literally, how can you do that? What I've learned is that all I need to do is actually enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. And by enjoying the journey, automatically that brings patience. It's mind blowing. It's like, poof, something's just gone off in my head to say, actually, that's the issue. I wasn't enjoying the journey, and I wasn't enjoying the journey because of my fears. And now I have to enjoy the journey. And the other thing that I learned was like, it's not about putting my fears to the back or trying to pretend or trying to get rid of my fears. It's about having a relationship with what my fears are. Because like, when I can have a relationship with my fears, I can tackle it on. I can go, wait, okay, so you know what? This is what you're afraid of. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. How does it make you feel? Okay, so if that would happen, what does that mean? Do you know what I mean? And I can get right down to the bottom of my fears. I can talk to myself and get to the bottom of my fears and then realize, actually, you know what? That in itself is a journey. Just by me doing that, it's a journey. And I can go back and go, oh yeah, I remember when I had a conversation with fear that day, and and my fear was talking about A, and they were talking about B, and they were telling me, you're never going to get through this. And I was having that conversation and I was talking to them, and and at the end of the day, I realized, you know what? It doesn't really matter if I get through it. What really matters is that I try. So I'm just going to try it and see what happens, and then you get a step further and you move forward. And it's like, what happens is that every step that you're making, when you're conscious about the steps that you're making, you're going through the journey. And when you get to this thing that I'm calling, the family that I'm building, it will come and it'll be just part of that journey. And I think for me, that spoke like masses. It spoke masses to me. And it's like, and now I'm able to look at life differently. I'm able to look at this process differently. And now it's like, I said it myself. I said, come journey with me. And I'm telling you, come journey with me. And I just want to get to the end of the picture. It's like, Clara, really? It's like, really? How do you expect everybody else to come and journey with you when you're not even concerned about the journey? You want everybody else to see what's going on and to see what you're doing every week and how things are going on, but you yourself, you just want to get to the finish line. It's like, chill out a little bit, chill out. So that was like a portion of my week. It was like, and this was like, and it's mind blowing, and I'm so excited because I can feel that transformation. The other thing that has come out is like, I was in prayer meeting this week as well. So, I told you I was doing the 8-week course, and now I've just gone through week 3, starting off week 4. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I'm now in week 4, week 4. And one of the things that I wanted prayer for, and I said to my friends, I was like, hey, I feel like I want to be able to understand and acknowledge my value, because I feel like I don't, I put on this great performance for everybody. I did. This is not a performance, by the way. This is essentially me. This is essentially me. But I have been putting on a performance, and that. But on the inside, not knowing how people view me or see me, and people say to me, "Oh, you're great. You're awesome. You're this. You're that." But I'm not seeing it because I myself am not seeing the value of me. And the prayer that I asked for was like, help me to see the value of me. And this, oh my gosh, when I went to this seminar, that was the one thing that I realized, that if I could only see me, if I could only see my value, everything else was just going to fall into place. And when it got to that point in the seminar where that clicked for me, it was almost like a domino effect. I realized that I looked at every single thing in my life, and I realized how I had put absolutely no time in me. It was just like it's like I hadn't even considered myself. I'm the actor in this story, but I haven't considered myself. I don't consider myself as being an actor. I don't even consider myself as being a participant. I just don't consider me. So many things. And that's where my value drops. Because if you don't consider you, then, how do you expect somebody else to consider you? How do you expect somebody else to see you? How do you expect somebody else to recognize you if you don't recognize yourself? And if you can't pinpoint what you are, simple things what do I want to wake up to in the morning? Do you know? Do I want to wake up to a messy house? Am I worth having a clean house? Am I worth sleeping on fully cotton bed sheets as opposed to polyester? Am I worth that? Because mark my words, I have a guest, I'm bringing out my best linen for them, but I'm not bringing out my best linen for me. Why not? I'm valuing somebody else over me. And I'm not saying that it's not right to value somebody else, because of course you do. But if you're valuing somebody else over you, then there's a problem. There's an issue. There's an issue that you need to sort out, because you cannot expect somebody else to see your value if you can't see the value in you. And that was another light bulb for me. And I just suddenly started to see every single thing about me that was beautiful. Number one, I started to see the beauty in me, the things that I have that, has been given to me, God has given to me by default, that I haven't even had to work for or do anything with. One of them being my my smile, it's like, I didn't work for this. The other thing being my youthful looks, I didn't work for that either. It's just and the things that I can do, that I can just get up and talk without preparing for anything. This is unscripted. This is 100% unscripted. I've just got on the stage and I'm talking. Wow, that's awesome, And when I got to list things about me that I didn't even see before, I just thought it was natural. These things just happen. And I started listing them, and I realized, wow, okay, you know what? You've got some value here. And then when I started to think about the things in my life that I actually want to do, but I've been holding off, I've not been doing for whatever reason, I've not been doing them, I realized, actually, why am I waiting? I don't want to get to the end of my life and look back and go, I wished I'd done this. There's so many things just for me, just for me. And it's like, take out some time to love on you, to value you, to clap for you, to pat yourself on the back. Take out some time to do that for just being you, for who you are, for the things that you bring to other people, for the things that, other people bring into your life. Just take hold of your value. And you know what? When you take hold of your value, just don't let it go. Don't let it go. And that's the beautiful thing that I learned, It's like I was meant to be on this retreat. It was like I was meant to be there, yeah. And the funny thing is that there's so many other opportunities that came during this period, and I was like and ahhing, and I was like saying, you know what, should I do that? Should I do that? That sounds like much more fun than, going to a virtual retreat. So it wasn't even a physical retreat. This is a virtual retreat where all I can see is like, somebody on my TV screen. And, and on the face of it, it just sounds like, that doesn't sound so great. But in actual fact, it's an absolute transformation. If I had missed this, then wow, I would have missed a lot. I would have missed a lot. So that's been my week. I haven't been on any dates, so I am still not actively dating because I'm still going on this program, so I've still got 4 weeks left on this program. But when I do start dating, even just from today, my dating self from today is going to be different to my dating self yesterday. And that's the beauty. I'm seeing things a lot more different. I'm seeing I'm seeing me in this whole situation, and I'm looking at the things that I want really for my life and for myself. So regardless of anybody coming on board, what is it that I want to do? How is it I want to show up? How is it I want to represent? I've signed up to a couple of things, some new things that I've signed up to, things that I wanted to do for a long period of time. One of them is swimming. I think I told you before that I can't swim. I think I have said, but if I haven't, no, I can't swim. But that's something that I've wanted to do, so I'm signing up for swimming. Another thing that I'm signing up for is acting. Not because I want to be an actor in that sense, but I just wanted to know what it would be like to go to acting school. So I've signed up to do that as well. And I'm so grateful because I'm actually being able to live the life that I actually really want to live, but I'm able to do it now, as opposed to it's something somewhere over there, thinking, oh, maybe one day, and then looking back and thinking, well, that day never happened, and I'm just stuck with this. So yeah, I'm going to try not to waffle because I know sometimes I waffle. So, give me a thumbs up if you're thinking this is great content. If you don't like it, then obviously give me a thumbs down. It's fine. If you've got any comments that you want to bring to table, then yeah, just put your comments on. I'm all okay with comments. I don't care. I'm all okay with comments, because I know it's not, the comments are not at me, they're at what I'm saying to you. So it's fine. It's okay. It's not a problem. But I will say this, I remember when I spoke to somebody last week, and I was telling them about, I was thinking of telling the guy that I'd been on a couple of dates with that I didn't think it was going to amount to anything, so I was going to stop it. And he was saying, well, does that actually really make sense? Maybe you should just enjoy the journey. Like he was saying, enjoy the journey and go on a couple of dates and do this and do that and stuff like that. But I did actually cut it because I felt like I had to be crystal clear on the things that I wanted in life. It wasn't easy for me to do. And because, I don't like to disappoint people. That's another thing. That was another thing that my formal self was struggling with. It's I was feeling that I was impacting the other person adversely by telling them that I didn't think this was going to work. So I kind of like delayed the whole process. But I got to the point where I realized that I actually had to make a decision. And I got to also the point when I realized that the reason why I hadn't done it was nothing to do with them. It was all to do with me. It was all to do with my insecurities. It was all to do with, how I would have felt if somebody rejected me. It was all to do with that, and therefore I was portraying it on that other person. Whereas in actual fact, the other person preferred to know that, this wasn't going anywhere, because at least they could have moved on with their life and not be in limbo or not thinking something is going to be a way when it's not. So it was me having to deal with my insecurities to be able to actually make that decision. And the reason why I'm saying this is that sometimes the reasons why we don't do something, and we can make all the excuses in the whole wide world. We can, because we're good at doing that. We can make all the excuses in the whole wide world as to why, I don't want to upset them, or I really don't want to burst their bubble. They've been through so much already. You can make all these excuses, but in reality, it's about you. You don't want to feel the pain because when you reject somebody, ultimately, you're feeling that pain because, your memory, your brain is not thinking, oh, I've rejected somebody. You actually feel rejected yourself, and you don't want to go through that pain. But ultimately, one thing that I learned on this retreat is almost like you've got to have a different relationship with your pain. You've got to learn to have a different relationship with your pain. You've got to realize that sometimes your pain is, in all ways, your pain is just an emotion. It is just an emotion. And when you get used to having that emotion and you understand, I'm just going through pain right now. Okay. I'm just going through pain right now. Okay. You know what? I'm going through pain and, I feel like crying. Okay. Yeah. Cry. Okay. When you finish crying, ask yourself, am I still going through pain? No, I feel actually, you know what? My state is changing. I'm feeling a little bit better now. But and that's fine, because you're actually having that relationship with your pain. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to go away. It doesn't mean that you're going to say something and you're not going to feel the hurt. It doesn't mean that. It just means that when it comes, you're going to have a relationship with it, and you're going to help yourself through that process to get yourself into a better state. And that is what I had to do when I did that, because, although I was the one saying, I'm stopping this because I just don't think that this is going to move any further, I actually felt pain in doing it. And, and that pain that I felt was the pain of rejection. And I felt his rejection. You know how people say, I feel your pain? That's exactly how I felt. I felt his pain. But the thing is that actually it wasn't his pain I was feeling. It was my pain I was feeling. But I had to connect with that pain, and I had to have that relationship with that pain, and, and let the pain just go through my body and come out. And it did. It did. And that's the good thing about it. That's the good thing about it. But anyway, so I'm not going to waffle off. But I will end there. I'm looking so forward to seeing what this week's going to bring, next week's going to bring in. So tune in. Please do tune in and hit the bell and subscribe. Hit the bell to hear more stuff coming from me. I come out on a weekly basis to tell you what's going on in my week. So I always end with, what am I going to call this podcast, this episode of this podcast, what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it, transformation from within. Because that's what it's all been about. It's been about me transforming myself from within with the help of some tools. Yeah, transformation from within. And as you know, I never actually called it that, but this is the the essence of what I'm talking about. So if you feel like you need some sort of transformation, you need to go get it. You need to get transformed from within. You need to get the tools that's going to help you change your state. And I've got those tools. I've started to work on myself in such a way that I can start to engage with transformation from within, not externally, but from within, to reveal the things that I have in me already. And that's what today has been about. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to speaking to you soon. Actually, speaking to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.